Today we're in Jensen Beach, Florida, visiting very impressive young man, a roofing business owner. This man overcame a lot of struggles in life. He grew up in a roofing family. His dad is a roofer in Philadelphia. His grandfather also was a roofer, but this man falls short in the family. He had to come here for rehab and ended up running pretty successful roofing business. About 4 years ago, he started his company. 2 years ago, he rebranded to Fox Haven Roofing Group, and I cannot wait to share it with you Andy's story. Let's go.
My name is Andrew Keys. I'm the owner of Fox Haven Roofing Group in Jensen Beach, Florida. We're here at a tile tear off. We're tearing off old concrete tile to replace it with new. The reason we're replacing this roof is because they're sick of making repairs. So they had another leak. This would have been their 7th roof repair on the same roof, and they're just sick of it. I mean, how much money are you going to put into an old roof that keeps leaking? So they decided to replace it. On that point of leaking roofs, at all the repair calls, at all the roof leak calls we get, 90% are from concrete tile. The reason for this is because tile's not waterproof. So anywhere where you have valleys, where tiles meet walls, even the joints between the tiles themselves, they're not waterproof. So water always flows underneath the tile. So if the guys that put the roof on didn't take the underlayment and flashing process seriously, which is the true waterproofing, well then we see a lot of problems. A lot of times they just put a bunch of tar, roof tar on walls and roof tar in valleys, and they don't flash them properly, and the tar fails after 7 to 10 years, and you start to see leaks. So tile can be done correctly, but we see a lot of problems. I started my business in 2018. I came down from Philadelphia to start a life here. I had been roofing my whole life, so I decided to start a roofing company. I started the roofing company by myself. I was the only employee in the beginning, and it all came from there.
What kind of trouble did you get into?
A lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs?
Yes, early. So from like 13 years old, like starting to smoke cigarettes and smoke pot, and then pretty quickly to like pills, and then eventually heroin.
Wow. That sounds extreme.
Yeah, I guess it was extreme.
How did it fast forward to the moment you opened your business? How did you get back to roofing?
So eventually my family exiled me basically to Florida. They set me up with a rehab center in Florida, put me on a plane and said, you can't come back. Just like.
So they had enough of comebacks?
Yeah, just like devastating them. It was too much. They couldn't do anything to help me anymore. Like they tried for years, but it was just getting worse and worse.
Okay.
So the decision was made to send him to Florida and see how he does, but he's not allowed back here.
What happened in Florida?
I went to my first rehab. I got out. I was living in a halfway house for a while. I started using drugs again, and then I was living in my car in Riviera Beach, Florida, for about 6 months.
Wow.
Just using drugs and living home.
Did you work during the time?
I worked for a fire alarm company, and I got fired for stealing all the extra wire from the commercial sites. They would have these they would have these big rooms on these commercial jobs with all the wire in it, like big spools of wire, and we would take them at the end of the day and throw them in my car. We got caught, and I lost my job. Just to give you an idea of like the life of a drug addict, I was making good money at that place. We were making like $1,600 a week, and I lived in my car. You know, so.
Was it a choice, or was it like?
Just all my money went to drugs. It was the only thing I wanted to spend my money on.
Where did you take showers?
The beach, the public showers at the beach.
Really?
I would wait till it got dark, and not that late, like 10 o'clock when it was dark, and I would just tell myself that. Because people would walk by sometimes, I'd be like, well, if they don't see my face, it doesn't count. But yeah, that's how I was living.
Wow.
Today we have an office in Jensen Beach, Florida. I have over 20 employees, and we do about 250 roofs a year. Our favorite roofing system is by far standing seam metal. We believe it's the strongest in the hurricanes, and with being in Florida, hurricane proofing your home is one of the most important things. We believe it looks the best also, so metal roofing is definitely our favorite.
I was actually Googling roofing companies when we knew we need roofs at the HOA here, and we found them amongst other people, and they were the ones we chose. They were really good. I met Andy for the first time about a year ago. Everything went well. I liked everything he was saying about what he was going to do. and that was the choice that we made at the HOA between the board members and myself.
We're replacing the roofs on 11 condo buildings here in Jensen Beach, Florida. The ocean's right across the street. Obviously the existing roofs are shingles, and we're switching to a standing seam metal, which we'll go over and show you later. Each building's roughly 80 square, so 80 times 11, just under 1,000 square.
Honestly, the project has been absolutely phenomenal. I've been in construction a lot of years, and I know how big construction projects work. We had 11 roofs to do over here, and Andy has been nothing but phenomenal. As far as any communication, punctuality, when he says he's going to be there, he's going to be there. Materials audited, always on the right on the money with the dates when he starts, and that's a big deal. And very good communication, which is also a big deal when you're dealing with many different tenants and many different owners in a big community like we deal with here.
We're tearing the old shingles off. We're doing hurricane strap retrofitting, which is where we're strengthening the roof to wall connection. So where the trusses come into contact with the walls, we're adding hurricane straps there. That'll bring their insurance down. And then we're going with a standing seam aluminum metal roof. Aluminum is what we use on the coast. Aluminum never rusts, so that's why we like it when we're near saltwater. And we're just getting going. So this is the 8th building we've started. We'll be wrapping up this one next week, and then we'll move on to the rest of these.
I would definitely, without a doubt, without hesitation, recommend them to anybody. I've recommended them to our management company that we do here, and they've been using him as well on other projects. The kid has been, again, nothing but fantastic, and we're very happy with everything he's done.
What changed? How did he get back to normal?
I got sick of, being homeless and living in my car. I finally got fed up with it, so I went back to the same rehab that I had previously been to, and then ever since then, that's when I changed my life. I met a guy in there who had enough money actually to get a townhouse, so we went out of the rehab into a townhouse.
When was that? What year?
2017 or 2016. I'm not good at remembering time, somewhere around then.
Okay.
We moved into a townhouse with no furniture, no anything, just a bag of clothes. I slept on the floor, and that's where it started.
Wow.
I was like a laborer for a GC for a couple weeks, and then I knew how to roof. I knew I could make decent money roofing. I grabbed 4 guys from an AA meeting, and I said, "You guys want to be roofers?" And I went to a roofer, I got us work, and we started.
Wow. How did that go?
Terrible.
What?
Because roofers are paid piecework, so you have to have some speed to you to make decent money. And I always paid my guys. I was good that way. So there was weeks I would work from sun up to sundown and make no money, just pay the guys, and I made $0. I started roofing in Philadelphia. Obviously now we roof in Florida, and it's much different. For one, the building codes and the regulation we have in roofing are pretty strong here, probably some of the strongest in the country. And it's for a good reason. We get a lot of hurricanes here, and nobody likes to see damage after hurricanes. So every time a hurricane comes in, we assess what got damaged and why, and the codes increase because of that. So we like the challenge of hurricane proofing your home in Florida. Obviously, we deal with the heat in Florida. Working in the heat is tough. So we believe roofing in Florida is one of the hardest places to roof in the country, and we're proud to do what we do. So we just had a Category 1 hurricane the other night. It makes me want to talk about building codes and hurricane proofing your home. So when we put your roof on, there's a lot of building code requirements that come into play. When we're deciding what roof system we're going to give you, how we're going to fasten things, and it can affect the price of the job. So there's certain things as far as we can foam fasten the tiles, or we can nail the tiles. We can re-nail the plywood. Things like that are going to hurricane proof your home. And you want to pay for those things. You want to do those things, because if not, the next hurricane that comes through, your roof could get ripped off your house, and then what happens then? Now you have raining, it's raining inside for the whole length of the hurricane, which you don't want. So for the peace of mind and for future preventative measures, it pays to, enhance your house, give yourself the highest level of building codes possible. We love where we do business here in Jensen Beach, Florida. Obviously, we're right next to the beach. We live in paradise, so who wouldn't want to live here? But it's also a small family town, so we appreciate the honor to do roofs for families. When you get a metal roof, we install seamless panels. That's the big selling point for this roof system, is that it's seamless. Well, in order for it to be seamless, we have to cut the panels to the exact size of your roof. So after we tear the roof off and we put the underlayment down, we take precise measurements on the roof of each roof section, and we cut the panels to match those measurements. So that's what they're doing now. There is another way to deliver the panels. The panels can be made somewhere else in a factory and then shipped here on a big tractor trailer. But cost-wise, it doesn't make sense. So I've gotten prices from company suppliers that will give us the metal this way. And the price is, it's like 50% higher. So this is the most cost-efficient way to get your panels on site. Now is the best time to get a metal roof. If you would have got a price from us for a metal roof 2 years ago, it would have been much cheaper than it was today. And the same will be true 2 years from now. If you get a price for a metal roof 2 years from now, it's going to be a lot more expensive than it is today. So if you're thinking about a metal roof, now would be the best time to do it. What I do outside of work, I'm really into fitness, exercise and fitness. I like to do CrossFit. I think it's very important to challenge yourself physically. I think it makes you more mentally strong. I think it makes showing up and going to work every day a little bit easier. If I'm pushing in the gym and just growing in that area of my life, I can grow in the rest of the areas of my life. If I was a homeowner looking to hire a roofer, the first thing I would do would be to read Google reviews. The second thing I would do is to pay attention to your neighbors. The best referral you can get is to talk to your neighbors that are happy with the project that they just had. So reviews, neighbors, look for referrals, and then I would just interview every roofer and just look for who's genuinely a good guy, because there's a lot of bad guys in this industry and you don't want to get caught up with one of them. So just pick someone that you feel good about, pick someone you trust.